Coronavirus is a new disease that global health experts are still battling to learn about what can lead us to its cure. We're joined on the program by the Dean of Faculty of Infection Control at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Professor Abubakar Sadiq. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, Professor, the coronavirus is said to be from a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from common cold to more severe respiratory cases. Is there anything else you can tell us about this virus from when it was first detected in Wuhan, China?
Okay. When the virus was first detected in a market where they sell live animals, the first evidence of its transmission was an animal-to-man transmission. But after some days, it indicated man-to-man transmission, and since then it continued to spread across the world, initially in different towns in China, but it then spread to other parts of the country, and now it has come very close to us because a case has been recorded in Nigeria. What happens usually in such situation is people become victim of such an illness, some presenting with mild illness just like a common cold, and then for some the severity increases until it leads to respiratory failure. So it is a virus that manifests in people differently, and it takes different course of severity of illness until some people have multiple organ damage, and then death may occur. But it is a disease that is very variable because some people will have varied presentation. A number of them, the severity may not be very much, but then it is something to lead us to worry.
Now, Prof, do you think the screening at the airports across the country is effective?
Well, the Federal Ministry of Health has tried to send personnel to different international airports across the country, but the number of personnel working in those airports is not enough. As a result of that, some hospitals and other institutions have contributed personnel. For example, here in Kano, the teaching hospital where I work, the Department of Community Medicine has contributed staff to the airports so that screening will take place. But those workers face a number of challenges ranging from protective materials to people who are coming into the country accepting to be screened without grumbling, and some of them even try to jump the queue so that they will not be screened effectively. And that's a very serious challenge, and definitely some security personnel will need to join the team of health workers that are screening workers in order to increase the effectiveness of the screening.
Prof, we want to get as much information as we can. So besides fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulty, what other signs are there for people to look out for when it comes to coronavirus?
Actually, you can look out for sneezing, even ordinary sneezing that occurs in people who have common cold is something to watch out for. And then blocked nose is not so common, but it is also something that we should look out for. And the cough in coronavirus infection is usually dry cough. But shortness of breath, because the viruses attack the nose, and if you know the nature of the virus, it has spikes with which it attaches to our organs and tissues, and that usually leads to difficulty in breathing. But as it goes down to the lungs and causes pneumonia, other features of respiratory illnesses, severe ones, may appear, and until it gets to respiratory failure where a person is not even able to breathe. And then because it attacks other organs like the kidney, we find out that features of kidney failure also may manifest before, if care is not taken, the person may lose his or her life as a result of various organs that are affected.
Now, there's a question I really want to get a clear answer to when it comes to the issue of the coronavirus. We've heard a lot of things about it. Some people have speculated. Other things that the medical experts have said is not correct. But one thing the medical experts have said is it comes from droplets. So how long does this virus stay alive outside the body?
You see, this is a new virus, and no one can be sure that he or she knows the typical characteristics of the virus. Most of what people say are things that they have witnessed between the first day that this virus appears till now. But there are people who have speculated that the virus can even stay up to 2 weeks. Some even said that it occurs for more than that. I mean, it survives outside the human body, for more than 2 weeks. But I feel it is a disease that we are just beginning to learn a lot about, so we cannot be sure of the typical characteristics of the virus.
All right, Prof, before I let you go, a country of about 200 million people with 4 testing centers, is that enough?
Actually, we have a lot of problems with our health system. We have a weak health system partly because of our level of economy and then the large population we have. A lot needs to be done if we are to contain this epidemic of coronavirus, because our population is large, and if the situation is not nipped at the bud and this virus spreads widely, definitely our health system will find it very difficult to cope with the massive epidemic that may emanate from the unfortunate occurrence of this virus in our country. But then all hope is not lost, because the Federal Ministry of Health has made some effort even before the appearance of this virus into the country. A lot of materials have come in, and World Health Organization has given assistance. Our Nigerian Center for Disease Control has also enlightened a lot of public health workers and medical workers across the country, and some equipment for screening, for handling cases have come into the country, and they are up and doing with provision of information. However, having said all this, we need to do much more than a lot of effort have to come into this. For example, the victims of this illness will need drugs for supportive treatment, and then they will need oxygen, medical oxygen, which is in short supply in different hospitals across the country, and not all hospitals will have this oxygen to be used by patients who need.
Prof, if I may butt in.
So,
Prof, thank you so much. Because of time, we just have to end it right here. I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. Professor Abubakar Sadiq is the Dean, Faculty of Infection Control at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.